Alien Covenant is coming out very soon. I have seen it, some reviewers have seen it. There's a lot of mixed opinions. I think we should talk about this one for sure. So this is following in the footsteps of Prometheus immediately. Well, 10 years chronologically in the time frame in the movie, but it's also trying to follow the footsteps of Alien and Aliens. We're ignoring the other two, and it certainly seems reflected in some of the reviews that it's kind of reminiscent of Alien and Aliens, where you know, kind of similar to how Star Wars: The Force Awakens has vibes of A New Hope. I don't really think I agree with this that much, though.
Really?
I think it's more like Prometheus, but more action oriented.
The trailer, what they show you in the trailer, which is what everyone who hasn't seen it is working off of, is that they are kind of exploring an area and then it's foreign to them, so they're encountering it for the first time, hence the callback to the original Alien.
Yes.
And then there's stuff jumping out onto people's faces, and so folks, I saw the trailer and thought to myself, this looks like the original series, because you have a female protagonist who looks a lot like Sigourney Weaver. Well,
we also had Elizabeth Shaw from Prometheus.
So I only watched enough of Prometheus to be, and it's similar to what I'm feeling with this, where like folks are talking me out of it on the way in. Where the trailer looks cool and I'm really excited, but people come out of it going like, it's not that important to see this movie.
I wouldn't describe this as a good movie, but I wouldn't describe this as a terrible movie. I remember parts of Prometheus were very heavy-handed because we have this focus on the balance between scientific evidence versus faith. And it was very heavy-handed in Prometheus. And now we have, in Covenant, we have that same balance. Again, it's a little bit more understated, but it does pop up and it is something that carries through. They're trying to answer questions that were brought up in Prometheus, because this is 10 years after Prometheus, but 14, maybe 18 years before Alien. So they have to kind of get there. And I have heard that Ridley Scott wants to make 1 or 2 more in this group of prequels.
Sure.
So we're answering questions like, who made all of this stuff happen? Who created the facehuggers? Who is responsible for the xenomorphs, or they're called neomorphs in this one? And there is an answer to that. I won't say what the answer is.
Oh, cool. That's exciting.
They do answer that at least. It's not vague.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what it also looks like in this movie is that you get a more realistic, fully fleshed out motion of the xenomorph or whatever they are in this.
Yeah.
Of their movements, which looks much scarier than just kind of like the, you know, you've got the original one.
With the person in the costume.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very different from that. It is a lot more action oriented than Prometheus. So if you didn't like that about Prometheus, you might like this a little bit better. The heavy handedness from Prometheus is relaxed a lot. A woman doesn't immediately have sex with a man after he makes fun of her, so that was nice. I mean, I'm trying really hard not to get into spoiler territory with this.
Okay.
Fassbender has been described as giving really good performance. However, he plays a dual role. This is not a spoiler. He plays both David from Prometheus and Walter, another synth further in the line, developed by now Weyland-Yutani. It was then Weyland. And he has an American accent. I do not like this American accent. It's not very, there's one American accent that that actors from the UK like to do.
Yes.
And it's a very specific sound, and this very much follows it.
Right, and it's also, I think Annette Bening has the same, like that's her voice. There's in acting, there's like a transatlantic or transcontinental accent that people put forward, and the R's get like rounded a certain way. That's what I always hear from people who are from the UK doing American accents. And I think that Australians doing American accents just sound cooler. And that's how they have so much work in Hollywood. Hemsworth. Mel Gibson has, I know he came very early, or he is more American than the others, but Russell Crowe.
There
all
are
Nicole
moments in this
Kidman.
movie, though, that I feel the character should be shocked by. We shouldn't be shocked as the audience because we have this omniscient point of view, but they're not shocked by it.
Really?
That was weird to me.
Okay.
We do answer questions brought up in Prometheus that we do leave a lot of them kind of vague. I would say about some biological questions that are left very vague.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair, the action is pretty good. There is,
Great.
if you're a fan of chest bursting, you're gonna have a great time. Because that's back now. We've gotten to that middle point, I guess, between Prometheus and Alien, where that kind of thing can't happen and will happen many times. I mean, as with all Alien movies, don't get too used to the crew.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, you see, Crudup has a pretty rough day of it in the trailer, so I wouldn't. No, don't indicate whether anything else happens.
Every single person has a rough time. It's a rough thing to get through.
Yeah.
I think it's better than Prometheus, if I had to say.
Good.
I would give it maybe a high 6, low 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
On
That's
a scale of
solid.
10. It's all right.
That's the kind of thing.
I think nothing will ever live up to Aliens for me though, because that one is like the best one. It's so good. I love it.
Okay. And then Danny McBride, last question. Danny McBride, good, bad?
You know, he doesn't play like you think he would, because James Franco's in this movie too.
Oh, I didn't
But
know
it's
that.
not, yeah, he plays a role in this. I think he's in the trailer as well.
Okay.
They don't do the typical McBride and Franco thing. It's very understated. I like Danny McBride in this.
Great.
Yeah.
I like him.
So, Alien Covenant, overall it's all right. It's not the best, it's not the worst. But though many people disagree on this fact so far, if you like action in your Alien movie, you're gonna like this one, I think. You might be angry about some of the revelations. Do you want to see Alien Covenant, or are you burned out after the last one? Let us know what you think. Also, if you've seen it already, try not to ruin it for everyone, but tell me what you thought about it below.